Tight hip flexors seems to be today's buzzword in gyms and fitness forums around the country. Yoga and Pilates studios are busier than ever, filled with people just like you, trying to stretch their hip flexors to reduce pain, but with no lasting benefit. And if you really don't know what it means to have tight hip flexors, then you are wasting your time with the stretching you have been doing. Yes, stretching is good, it's great. But if you are not addressing all the muscles related to having tight hip flexors, then you will continue to suffer. To really get to the root of stretching tight hip flexors and finally relieving the pain you are having, you will need to strengthen your core and your glutes as well. To do exactly this, to truly stretch tight hip flexors and alleviate what is unnecessary pain in your life, all you need is a few new stretches and exercise that will loosen your tight hip flexors once and for all. How amazing would it be? How amazing would it feel to have better mobility, less pain and less risk of injury just by simply including these simple stretches into your day? What are tight hip flexors? The hip flexors are an entire group of muscles in and around the hips that helps to move your legs and trunk together. So when you lift your legs, or when you are bending over to pick something up, you are using your hip flexors. Your hip flexors include the following muscles. 1. Iliopsoas. 2. Tensor fasciae latae. 3. Rectus femoris. 4. Sartorius. Okay, so these are all really big words. However, these all have a massive impact on your daily movements and ultimately your quality of life. When these muscles are working together in a healthy way, they allow you to flex at your hip joint as well as stabilize your spine. And when all of these muscles are tight, you end up living with pain that you shouldn't have to. Do I have tight hip flexors? Obviously, if your muscles just feel tight, that is a clear indication that they are in fact tight. So what do? You stretch them, of course. And what is the result? Not a whole lot, or at least nothing that seems to have any real impact or lasting effect as far as improving things. Other signs that you have tight hip flexors can include any or all of these. 1. Tightness and aching in your lower back, particularly when standing. 2. Poor posture, pain and difficulty standing up straight. Tightness and pain in your neck. Pain in your glutes. Honestly, sitting is the #1 cause of tight hip flexors. Let's be honest, we are a society that does more sitting now than ever before. Our jobs and much of our day can be spent sitting in front of a computer, in meetings and driving. All this sitting is causing that iliopsoas muscle to shorten, creating very tight hip flexors with painful results. Add to this a weak core area and you really do have a recipe for disaster. Even high-caliber athletes suffer from tight hip flexors. Seriously, none of us are immune to having tight hip flexors. However, there is something that we can do about it to correct this problem and live pain-free and with greater mobility and less risk of injury. See the link in the description or first comment for 10 simple stretches will loosen your sore, tight hip flexors, strengthen your core and allow you the freedom of pain-free movement.